Thank you. As we wind down the night, I'm Paige Knight. I am the president of HanfordWatch.org in Portland, Oregon. We have a great website, and we have an e-list that you can sign up to that has a lot of information. So I welcome you to do that. Welcome to the global commons. I love that term. I mean, seriously love that term that was in the summary document. We are the global commons, and I take that very, very seriously. So I say welcome to the global commons. We, as we've proven tonight, are here to help. And I think that that is really exciting, okay? One of the things that came up tonight was, the time that it's taking us to comment, but I have to say, and I have said this to our wonderful facilitator, we're here to hear each other. I have been coming to these for almost 19 years now, and we learn so much from each other, and that's what this forum is. We're here to educate ourselves and everybody else. And yeah, some of our facts may, conflict with somebody else's facts. I get very, very, frustrated when people talk about the right facts and the wrong facts. There are many sides to science. Science is not a closed loop. However, I think nuclear power should not only be a closed loop, but a sort of a done deal, like, what are we going to do with any more waste? I think that the Global Nuclear Energy Partnership, and I like Lloyd Marquette's new acronym, way better, but I can't remember it right now, GNEP, is a bailout. GNEP, thank you. It's a bailout. It's another bailout, and we've been going through those right now in this last couple of months on a huge scale, and this is another huge scale. Enough people here brought up that we have always had cost overruns with anything nuclear. You can give the price of a nuclear power plant, and it will cost 2 to 3 to how many other times more than that. You can do the same thing to Yucca Mountain. Yucca Mountain has been in the making for 20 years. It was based on bad science. A good friend of mine in the back here has told me that some of the best geological formations for depositing nuclear waste for the sometimes 6 billion years that some of those radionuclides will have to decay, it is in the northeast part of the country, and they don't want it. They think that the West is wide open spaces, Nevada, Hanford, just send it to the deserts. But it doesn't work that way. I mean, we're all in this together. The global nuclear GNEP is an expansion. It's all about an expansion of nuclear power, and we can't handle what we've got right now. According to this document, recycling spent fuel would generate relatively large quantities of low-level radioactive waste compared with the present open fuel cycle. And yet this program is being sold on the premise that it would purportedly reduce volume, temperature, and radioactivity. But it's going to produce more waste, and we have no viable repository or science to neutralize the waste or whatever. I teach high school, and my kids always say, can't we just send it up to the moon? And I just remind them of how many spaceships have crashed, and where do they crash? In our oceans, and so we get contaminated that way too. One of the major intents of this proposal is to expand the number of future repositories or graveyards for nuclear waste, and I am really concerned about the greater the Class C. And I'm concerned not only about Hanford, which I have worked on all of these years intimately. I am concerned about every nuclear site in this country. We have 103 nuclear power plants that all have spent fuel by them, and there's nowhere to go. And we have at least, I think I'm way off on this number, but at least 20 defense sites. I know there are more than that, okay? And we have nowhere for that waste to go. We have not cleaned up Army sites. We have not cleaned up any of the military sites. We have not cleaned up the nuclear sites in this country. I think we have 2 or 3 that are sort of clean, Fernald and Rocky Flats, but that's not clean. We still have water tables being contaminated by things that they can't dig down deep enough to get. One of the benefits in this proposal, or these proposals by the DOE, is that recycling fuel will limit the spread of enrichment and processing activities. I won't go into my whole thing here because enough was said tonight, but I keep thinking about North Korea and Iran and our stance that we don't have to follow any treaty, and yet we can go create these possibilities for nuclear bombs, which you can, when you're extracting plutonium, that is a possibility. And yet we tell them, you can't do this. You got to do it our way. You know, which is one of the things that has really taken down our standing in this country, in particular in the last 8 years. You know, and I know that a lot of the world right now is relieved that the people of the United States have had the wisdom to vote in a different way of thinking. One of the proposals...
Can you wrap things? We've still got 12 people to go.
Okay. Let me just I want to say that the U.S. DOE is unwilling to spend the funds necessary to clean up the waste that has been made over the last 60 years, so why should we allow new missions? And then finally, the most profound argument against continued nuclear energy production is the lack, and I will repeat this again, of viable solutions for what to do with the lethal waste that will be deadly for 250,000 years at least. Is this what we leave our children and our grandchildren? I think not.